Let's rank some Nintendo Switch games. What's up, everybody? Kuroda, Rob here. How's it going, everybody? So this was a fun little video I thought I'd do where I would basically rank all of the physical Nintendo Switch games I own. So I own a lot more games than this, actually. I kind of have embraced, for the most part, the whole, digital library thing, downloading games. It's a lot easier, it's more convenient. There is the environmental aspect as well, where you're kind of saving on, buying more stuff and whatever. But mostly, I have to be honest that the convenience of it has been great. And as somebody who's sort of, I think, moving towards more PC-style gaming, the days of going out and buying physical copies of games is really waning at this point, I would say, especially for me. So I know there's you diehards who love your collecting, and I do love collecting too, but even with especially retro games, the price of collecting now it's just kind of crazy and gone through the roof. So for me, I'm slowly becoming this sort of digital version of games kind of person, and I don't buy a bunch of stuff. However, with the Nintendo Switch, because it's been a really special system, really just great library of games, there are those games, as this stack indicates, that I just like to have on a physical edition, particularly first-party games or big AAA type games. One reason actually is practical for that as well, and that is the fact that a lot of these games, if you download them, take up a lot of space too. And the Nintendo Switch has sort of a limited capacity, and I don't want to have to keep switching out SD cards or anything like that. So I like to own some physical copies. It's nice to have kind of a library, which mine's pretty significant, I would think. But what I thought would be kind of fun, just kind of going through these games, fairly recently, would be to attempt to rank all of the physical Nintendo Switch games that I own. So without further ado, enough rambling, because I tend to do that a little too much in the beginning of my videos. Let's rank all of my physical Nintendo Switch games. So we'll start from the bottom up. So I'm going to mention two games off the bat, and these are the only two physical Switch games that I have not played. One is Starlink Battle for Atlas, which I got on sale for, crazy discount. It was like $7 US, something like that. And it came with this. This was when anybody who knows, who has basically owned this, knows they were practically giving these things away. So I mean, they would have, from what I understand, there's some game stores that had pallets of this stuff, and it just didn't sell like Nintendo and Ubisoft thought it was going to sell. I have to be honest, I haven't played it at all. It was a game I was legitimately interested in, and I probably will play at some point, but I just haven't really gotten around to it yet. There's a lot of other Switch games that I'd like to play and finish before this, but I think I will eventually play Starlink Battle for Atlas. The next one, the only other game that I haven't played myself, this was actually a purchase for Rachel, my wife, and this is Fire Emblem Three Houses. I've yet to play it. I've really never played a Fire Emblem game. It's a series that I eventually might play. I think if I do play it, I'll probably play the Game Boy Advance ones first, because those are pretty acclaimed by everybody. Three Houses, maybe, like, never say never, I guess, but, I have to get into the series first. I'll probably play Awakening, those other games I mentioned for the Game Boy Advance, maybe even Path of Radiance, I believe, for the GameCube before this. But, I probably won't play this for a long time if I ever play it. But Rachel's a pretty big Fire Emblem fan, so I bought this for her a couple Christmases ago, around when it came out. So I've never played that either. And for the record, tactical RPGs, not really my thing. So, going down, basically now, the rest of the games I've played, and I'm just going to rank them from, least favorite to favorite. That said, I don't dislike any of the games I have played. So if it's at the bottom, doesn't necessarily mean that I dislike the game. I just either haven't played it as much or didn't like it as much as the other games. So, first one I have, one of my very first Switch games, a gift from our buddy Dave, the first of many. Street Fighter 2. The Final Challengers. This was a really fun game to play. I haven't played it a ton. I played it mostly with Dave. It's a pretty fun, multiplayer Street Fighter game. They basically sort of remade the original Street Fighter 2, and it's got like all new animations, all that stuff. It's a really, really cool game. I really enjoyed what I played of it, but there's not really anybody I can play this with, to be honest. And yeah, it's just kind of one of those games that's fallen under the radar. Maybe I'll pop it out again. And Dave, maybe we could play this on the channel sometime, since I know you've mentioned before how I haven't played this. So, good game, fun game, solid game. Played this a bunch when I got my Nintendo Switch, given it was one of my first Switch games, but haven't played it in a long time. So, to the near bottom of the pile, it shall remain for now. Another game. This one also Dave gave to me. There'll be a theme here. Dave, you're a gem. You buy me way too many games. I love you, and it's way more than generous. New Pokemon Snap, a game I have not finished, but a game I really, really enjoy. I think this game is fantastic. It's visually, it's gorgeous. It's got that classic Pokemon Snap, formula in it. I really need to get more into this game. I've probably played about 5 or 6 hours of this. I really liked it, but I have a bad habit with games, especially recently, kind of falling off with them. And it's a game that I intend to finish at some point, but I haven't. Nice, fun, casual game. Really enjoyed it. Like I said, visually, it's gorgeous. The original Pokemon Snap was a fantastic game. It was in my top 20 N64 games when I did that video, and I think the sequel is fantastic. It's also very random that we got a sequel of this game. How many years later? Over 20 years later. So cool. Really glad they made a sequel. Really glad I own it, but a game I got to complete. Next, Yoshi's Crafted World. Another theme here of games I haven't finished. This is really fun. I really liked what I've enjoyed of it. I've streamed this a bit with Rachel. This is a game that we want to complete someday, probably through a stream, I would imagine. But it's a game that I really haven't played a ton in a while, and I gotta be honest, from what I've played of it, I think I've played enough to say that I liked Yoshi's Woolly World a lot more. Yoshi's Crafted World's a great game. I really like it, and it's a game that, unfortunately, I also still have to finish, so there you go. I'm a bad gamer. This next one is another really good game that I've played quite a bit, actually. I thought I'd play it more, and I had kind of a different idea with this game. Anyway, it's Ring Fit Adventure. Really, really fun exercise game. It comes with the ring, of course. Really good for, honestly, strength training, cardio, pretty much anything you can think of. It's good for stretches, all that stuff. Like, this is probably the best exercise game I've ever played, I think. I think it beats Wii Fit. I just really, really enjoy it. The whole concept of the ring and being able to do different workouts, like so many different workouts with the ring, is really, really cool. The story mode's pretty interesting. It's kind of a cool idea to have a story mode for an exercise game, and yeah, I don't know, really fun. I should play this more, because then I'd be more in shape. But yeah, Ring Fit Adventure is really fun. I really enjoy it. This next one is one of the newest games that I own, and this was a gift from Rachel. So thank you, sweetie, for this. I was basically going through a period recently where I was really busy, a little overstressed, working a lot, and Rachel knew I really wanted this game, so she went out and she bought it for me, and it's really good. Pokemon Violet. So Pokemon Violet, this game, I have to say, hasn't blown me away, but it's really solid. I think it's really good. I'm still in the midst of playing it. I'm enjoying it. I've got, I think, 3 badges or something like that, so I've been sort of slowly plodding through this game, but I'm intending to finish this soon, and I think this is one that'll probably climb up the list because I'm enjoying it so far. It's kind of a glitchy mess, and yeah, they fixed things with patches and everything, but it's just, it's still inherently a kind of flawed game technically. I really hope Game Freak does better in the future, but this game, I think, has a lot of potential. It was fun, and yeah, we'll see how it is when I actually finish it. So, Pokemon Violet. This next game was another gift. People like giving me Switch games, and I'm very grateful. This is a gift from, well, it was a co-gift from my wife Rachel and our good friend Yoshi King, Steven. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which I had on the Wii U. I held out buying this one for a long time because, well, quite frankly, I spent full price on it for the Wii U, and I couldn't justify spending $60 for a Wii U port. Now, I know the Nintendo Switch version has all the DLC from the original, plus tons of other stuff, new characters, all these things, but as a person who's a Wii U owner, it's a little frustrating with some Wii U ports. I only own one other Wii U port, which I bought, which I'll actually be talking about pretty soon, I think. But, you know, this is, despite that, it's a great game. I know Steven/Yoshi King really wanted me to have this because he wanted to play it with me. So we will play this again, Steven, even though you're very frustrating to play with because you're too damn good. And so is Rachel. I'm not as good at this Mario Kart as other Mario Karts. Mario Kart Wii and Super Mario Kart are kind of my jam. But anyway, great game. Probably the ultimate multiplayer game. And yeah, very grateful to own this. The next one, which may surprise some people because I basically covered this extensively on the channel, is Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. So I really like Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. It's objectively the greatest Super Smash Bros. Game, but to me, there's something about the physics of this game that I can't quite master. I was really, really good at the last game and Super Smash Bros. Brawl, and I think they just tweaked it enough where everything feels slightly off, and I just never got used to it. That said, love all the new characters, and of course all of the original characters. It's a really, really fun game. I've streamed this on the channel a bunch. I've played it a bunch, but not really my favorite Smash Bros. So it's about middle of the list here. And despite that, this game did make my top 10 Switch games video, which I made a few years back. So I'll link it up here somewhere. But yeah, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Okay, next one on the list. This one is going to be, this one's going to ruffle a few feathers, especially given the recent game that came out. But The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. So this is an amazing game. I love it. It's Zelda. It's not my favorite Zelda game. I find this game a little intimidating. I've played a lot of it. I've probably played maybe 20 hours of this total, but I haven't touched this in a long time, and I never beat it. Another one I haven't beaten, and it's just sometimes with this, and I was explaining this to my friend Garrett, and I was talking about this with Rachel as well. This game is brilliant in every way. For me, it's a little daunting, a game this size, just because of how much of a commitment it is to play this. It's hard for me these days. You know, I don't prioritize playing games as much as I should, especially since I have a gaming channel, right? But a game like this is really, really hard for me to set aside the time to consistently play this. I know a lot of people say it's a good casual game for that reason. You can pick up and play it and, you know, go, you know, explore shrines, just explore around the world and everything. And Tears of the Kingdom is all of that and more. Again, objectively, an amazing game. It's just a game that I really just haven't been able to get super into. It sucks me in, but then it doesn't retain that for me. So I would like to, at some point, play both this and Tears of the Kingdom on the channel, maybe like streaming or something. But it's going to be a while before I think I get back to this. Well, I also need to be able to stream again. But yeah, Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, brilliant game, love it, but a little daunting, to be honest. The next game, this one is a personal favorite. I love this series, always have. Mario Golf Super Rush. Great game, fun, a little, you know, in some ways it feels a little like they phoned this one in. It's not as good as the last one, the one for the 3DS, which I really enjoyed, World Tour. It's still really fun. It's addictive. It's got that classic Mario Golf sort of addictive quality to it. The story mode's, I'll say, probably the best one since the original Game Boy games, which is really good. But or Game Boy Advance, but yeah, really fun multiplayer game. I've done a bunch of drunk Mario Golf videos with people. It's kind of a tradition on this channel, which I'll link at the end here. But yeah, Mario Golf is a great casual game. I play it all the time. I really like playing online with people. And yeah, I'm a huge Mario Golf fan. Great stuff. Okay, the second Wii U port that I have on here, and the only other one you're going to see on this list, Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. Now, I own this on the Wii U, and you may be wondering, well, why would you buy that game of anything? Well, the fact that they added an entire two-player mode to this, and I was able to get the DLC on sale, is great. Rachel and I ran through this game. We love it. We still have, I think, the last book to complete, but we've ran through a bunch of this game. It's really fun trying to get all the collectibles and all the levels. Really, like, this might be the ultimate co-op game. I just had such a blast with it. You know, it's no secret, if you know me or you're familiar with this channel, that I'm a big fan of puzzle games. So this has, this just strikes all the right boxes for me. It's a really, really fun co-op game. I especially recommend it if, you know, to any couples or any like siblings or something that want to play a cool 2-player game. It's just so much fun. It's a blast. So yeah, Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, one of the best sort of like little casual games that Nintendo's done in a long time. Next we got Luigi's Mansion 3, amazing game, right up there with the original in my opinion. Gorgeous game, really fun. I love Gooigi. I love all of the new features with the Poltergust. It's just a really, really awesome game, and yeah, I really love Luigi's Mansion 3. A lot of fun. Next one, I dare say the best Pokemon game for the Switch. Pokemon Let's Go Eevee. I recently ran through this, probably a few months ago during the winter, and I just couldn't put it down. I'm a big fan of Gen 1, you know, I mean, I wouldn't call myself a Gen 1er. I've played lots of Pokemon games. I haven't played all of them, but I've played lots of them. But, you know, as a person who grew up on, you know, their first game was Pokemon Blue, and, you know, I was 10 years old when Pokemania hit everybody. It took the world by storm. This game, when I first got it, really, really brought a tear to my eye. It was, you know, obviously pure nostalgia, but I thought they really did a great job remastering this. The soundtrack's amazing. It's addictive. I know Gen 1 really well. I actually like the Go mechanic, and that they replaced it, Wild Battles, with it. I don't know why people missed Wild Battles, but, you know, that's kind of beating a dead horse. But yeah, really fun. You know, you can beat this in like 20 hours, something like that, so it was nice casual sort of experience, and really enjoyed it. So there you go, Pokemon Let's Go Eevee. Okay, this is a 2-for-1 special right here. So we've got Splatoon 2 and my most recently acquired game, courtesy of our dear friend Dave. Thank you so much, Dave. Splatoon 3. So yeah, the Splatoon series, my favorite new series by Nintendo, and by new I mean within the last few years. I adore these games, you know. I mean, I got the first one when it was first released, you know, what was that, 2015, 2016, something like that, on the Wii U. Really, really loved it, fell in love with it, played it a lot with my good friend James Bacon Mob, who everybody should have seen on the channel, and my wife, and we bonded over Splatoon. When Splatoon 2 came out, I jumped right on it. This I just recently got. I didn't jump on it because I wanted, you know, I wasn't, there were other games I wanted to play and get, and this kind of fell down the priority list, but thank you so much, Dave, for recently giving me this when we saw you, and yeah. I love Splatoon. Salmon Run's really cool in this one. I'm really enjoying playing that. And then I love Turf War. I've actually really never played the one-player modes in either of these games. I played a bit of the first one. It wasn't really anything special, to be honest with you. But maybe I'll eventually, you know, run through the story mode in these games. But yeah, I love the Splatoon series. I should, when we can stream again, I plan to stream a lot more Splatoon and maybe hit up a few Splatfests or whatever. So Team Zaddy won the last Splatfest, which is awesome. Okay, only a handful left here now, so the next one I got here is a game that I completely streamed on the channel and had a really, really great time with. The Legend of Zelda, Link's Awakening, the remake by Grezzo. Love this game. I am a huge fan of A Link Between Worlds, and I really loved the Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time remakes for 3DS. Triforce Heroes. Grezzo does a really great job with these little Zelda remakes and, you know, these little sort of bite-sized Zelda games, classic top-down Zelda. I thought they did a phenomenal job with this. It's gorgeous. It's fun. It's basically how I would have imagined a Link's Awakening remake to look. And fun little fact, Link's Awakening was the very first Zelda game I ever played, so it was a little nostalgic too. But this was really fun. Had a blast, literal blast. Anybody who watched Link's Awakening will know the reference. A literal blast playing this game, and yeah, what a fun little game, Link's Awakening. Okay, this next one is a game that I can't recommend enough to people. It was heavily pushed by Nintendo a few years ago when it was originally coming out. It was actually the first game announced for the Nintendo Switch, if I'm correct here, and it was a game that really blew me away, and that's Dragon Quest XI-S, Echoes of an Elusive Age Definitive Edition. So yeah, this game is really great. I'm a huge fan of classic JRPGs. Never really dipped my toes into the Dragon Quest series. Again, Nintendo really pushed this hard. Hero was a character in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate as a DLC fighter. And, you know, I've always heard of the Dragon Quest series, so, you know, I watched some reviews on this. You know, again, maybe Nintendo's advertising worked on me. I don't know. Decided to give this a fair shake, and I really, really loved it. So, you know, I can't recommend this game enough. It's a classic JRPG. If you love Chrono Trigger, if you like the original Final Fantasy games, and you want a nice turn-based RPG, Dragon Quest, man, it's awesome. And I'm excited for Dragon Quest 12 whenever that comes out. So, yeah, fantastic game, beautiful story, made me cry several times. Just wonderful little game. Okay, we're down to the top 3. Can you guess what they are? Well, I'm going to go with an older game that was recently released. This is my second newest game, and that is Metroid Prime Remastered, which is, you know, one of the greatest Metroid games, one of the greatest games of all time, I would say. This is, I love the reversible cover, as I talked about in another video. This is the inside of it, but, yeah, this, when they dropped this, Shadow dropped this, everybody got really excited. I hunted high and low recently for this and finally found one at a Best Buy, and I nabbed it, and I'm really glad to own this physical, because when it comes to Metroid, you know, as time goes on, I'm finding it may be my favorite series of all time, video game series, so I want to own Metroid. So I went out of my way for this, even though I could have digitally purchased it and had it, you know, at launch or something, but yeah, no regrets. This has been awesome so far. I've been playing this as well recently, and yeah, I can't wait to finish this. It looks amazing. They did it. This, by all rights, really could be considered a remake, in my opinion. Looks that good, and yeah, it's a wonderful game, Metroid Prime. And to go along with Metroid Prime, how about Metroid Dread? You know, I did a video a while back, and it was 10 games I'd like to see for the Nintendo Switch, and my number one thing that I wanted to see was a new 2D Metroid, and they did not disappoint. This is a game that I have to shamelessly say I have also not finished. I'm close to the end, but I've been, much like Samus Returns, there hadn't been a 2D Metroid in so long that I purposely take a long time to play these, to savor it, and to really, really enjoy it, because 2D Metroid is just where it's at, in my opinion. But I love Dread. It looks great. It plays really well. I think all the things that Mercury Steam introduced, all the ideas that they really had played with in Samus Returns, they've perfected in Dread. I would love to see a sequel to this, or maybe another remake of another 2D Metroid game. Possibly Super Metroid, or Metroid Fusion would be cool. But yeah, Metroid Dread is fantastic. Masterpiece. I really, really enjoyed it. It's just fallen short, and it'll probably surpass it when I finish the game, because I can't rightly put a game that I haven't technically finished in first place. So yeah, really great. Will probably be my number one Nintendo Switch game. And a big thank you again to Dave for getting me this game. Love you, buddy. You're the greatest. You've gotten me so many games for the Switch, and there's no reason you had to do that. And I love you, buddy. Thanks. Awesome. So my number one game, if you haven't guessed already, it's a game that I did an entire Let's Play of when it was first released, and it blew me away. I haven't played it in a while, but I'm thinking about maybe I should replay it soon, or maybe, you know, 100% it or whatever. Let's do the Odyssey. Yeah, I love Super Mario Odyssey. I have said before that this is the best Mario game, 3D Mario game, since Super Mario 64, in my opinion. Like, everything about this game was just so much fun. The different kingdoms that you go to, like the different worlds, the way you utilize Cappy, you know, it's classic Mario fare. I love the story. You know, I know it's simple, but like the whole, you know, Bowser marrying Peach thing, which they've even referenced in the new movie and everything, and everything about this game is great. I don't know why Nintendo hasn't done an Odyssey 2 or like another 3D Mario game for the Switch yet. It doesn't really make any sense, especially with the Mario movie just having been released. You'd think they would have a new Mario game to coincide with that. We'll see where the year takes us, I suppose. I might eat those words, but yes, this is the best Nintendo Switch game, in my opinion. So much fun, countless hours playing this. Had a blast doing this as a Let's Play, and yeah, it was just a joy from start to finish. I love classic Mario. That's kind of the cream of the crop, and for me in terms of gaming, I guess. I've always been a big Mario fan, and this just didn't disappoint. So that's it. That's all the physical Nintendo Switch games that I own. So, I don't know how many there are. I don't know. You can count them yourself. Haha. This video's a train wreck, so I'm gonna head out here. What are your favorite Nintendo Switch games, and what ones do you physically own? Let me know in the comments below. I love the Nintendo Switch. I'm sure that these aren't going to be the only physical Switch games I own. If Metroid Prime 4 comes out, you know, I'm sure I'll get Tears of the Kingdom eventually. There's games that have been released that I haven't gotten yet. Namely, I'd like to get the 2 Kirby games that are out, amongst many, many other games. But for now, that's my list. You know, maybe I could do a definitive list of games, or I could do all the digital games that I own, which would basically be a indie games list, because I buy indie games all the time, because they're so damn cheap. But yeah, anyway, that's my list. Thank you everybody for watching, and until next time, peace.